Hey folks, today is Friday, May 3rd, 2019. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, and we're here to talk about the video game news that has been going on this week. It's been an interesting week, most notably because of a little blue guy named Sonic the Hedgehog. So as you probably know, unless you've been living under a rock, we got the trailer for the movie. I've been waiting for this damn trailer for so long, and it's here, and woof. I mean, like, I don't hate it, but Sonic looks weird. I think that's been the thing that has been on everybody's mind, and I'm not even like a die-hard Sonic the Hedgehog fan or anything like that, but it seems like the people behind the movie, Paramount, has taken some feedback to heart. The director of the movie, Jeff Fowler, took to Twitter to say this: "Thank you for the support and the criticism. The message is loud and clear. You aren't happy with the design and you want changes. It's going to happen. Everyone at Paramount and Sega are fully committed to making this character the best he can be. Sonic movie, hashtag gotta fix fast." How? How are they going to do this?
It's not going to be much different.
What? This is crazy. I'm so looking forward to Sonic the Hedgehog's face looking like Henry Cavill's mustache in Justice League. I don't really know how much they're going to be able to fix things in such a short period of time. The movie is slated for release. Marketing is in place. Unless this is some elaborate marketing ploy where they actually had another Sonic design. I mean, people have been ranting about the way he looks for months now. Like, they couldn't have been blindsided right now about this, right? This is really interesting because you don't really have this. You don't really have design by committee for a big budget Hollywood movie. Because honestly, like, I don't think changing the way Sonic looks to make him look more like the video game a little bit is going to drastically just save the movie and make it that much better, right? Maybe it will. I don't know. Crazier things have happened.
As Jake Baldino says, only time will tell.
Only time will... I hate you. So we'll see how this turns out. We'll probably talk about it more. Out of all the stories this week, this is what I want to hear from you guys the most. What do you think? And before our next story, this episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Are you looking to build your own website? Maybe your own gaming news website? Well, Squarespace is a really good place to start. It's all in one and easy to use, so go to squarespace.com and use the offer code gameranx to get 10% off your first Squarespace order. Next up, we got a little tiny bit of information about the PlayStation 5 and how AMD is working with Sony. Now, we talked about it about a week or so ago. We have official specs at this point. A Wired reporter was allowed to talk to Mark Cerny, the chief architect. We have an idea of the specs, the GPU, the CPU, some SSD stuff going on there, but a new interview has surfaced with the CEO of AMD, and he said one little thing that's very interesting. I want to point it out and speculate a little bit. She went on record and said, I quote here, "What we've done with Sony is really architect something for their application, for their special sauce. It's a great honor for us. We're really excited about what the next generation PlayStation will do." Now, that special sauce, that's interesting because we did talk about the specs and the crazy stuff that Sony was saying that this thing is going to crank and do 4K up to 8K, have ray tracing. A lot of people who are into hardware were speculating, how can that be? How can this thing really do this without being ridiculous? Hearing AMD's CEO say that, as much as special sauce was just a throwaway line to be cute, on the other hand, there could be something out there. Like, they could have figured something out, some sort of new tech, some new trick, some new trickery to just kind of make this thing perform well for a console. Either way, I don't know. Again, this is just speculation, but I also bring it up because one other interesting point she made was that for AMD, gaming is a long-term prospect for them. And just news-wise stuff, I like hearing that stuff from the big higher-up money people because so many people like fear where gaming is going. To see where the big money is, to see that it's still focused in it, makes me at the very least have faith in the medium moving forward by any means. So there's that, and the interview is pretty interesting. It's from Jim Cramer, but if you want to read like the transcript of it, it's all linked in the description below. Ooh, that looks delicious. Now in other news, we're going to talk about VR because damn it, I still like VR. So Facebook has announced the new Oculus Rift S will be releasing at the end of the month, May 21st. The Oculus Quest, which is also very interesting, the wireless variant will also be releasing. It's a little more lower powered. The Rift S itself, though, is more of an incremental update to the original Oculus Rift. I'm curious to see how it's adapted. I'm still excited for it. But on the other hand, Valve announced their new headset, the Valve Index. This is not an HTC Vive. It's essentially Valve completely doing their own thing here, and it is more of a top-of-the-line headset. It costs $1,000 all in. The resolution per eye is vastly increased. The thing can apparently do really, really high refresh rates. And the controllers look pretty damn awesome because they can capture your fingers in the game. As someone who initially went for Vive and has the Vive, I appreciated the more top-end VR experience. But I'm curious to see with this one if like they're flying too close to the sun. Like, is anyone gonna buy this? They already sold out, so there is a need for that, like for VR enthusiasts. But I'm just curious to see where things are gonna go from here, from both Oculus Rift and now Valve and the Index. It's an exciting time, but in other news that's not as exciting, remember the Mad Box that we talked about? This was that new console that was being developed from the ground up by Slightly Mad Studios, the game developers. They talked this thing up to be the most amazing new console that can compete with PCs. It basically just is a badass PC. It can do everything. They really talked this up. It sounded a little too good to be true. The newest reports are suggesting that investors are kind of pulling back on the Madbox idea. Reports are chalking it up with like it happening thanks to the Google Stadia announcement. I don't know how much that does really connect. I think honestly it's just interest from investors for something that's like so weird and ambitious like this. Two large investors have backed out of the project. Not only that, I think the bigger thing is that Slightly Mad has actually, the studio has actually withdrawn their trademark application. So where is this gonna go? Who knows? Was I really banking on this thing? Was I hyped for it? No, it seemed like it was pretty far away anyway. I wish them all the best. Like maybe they're gonna rethink their approach and come out with something else. I appreciate the passion. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. In other news, a news story that has been making rounds quite a bit this week is the mods, the developers behind Skyrim Together. What?
You want this biscuit?
I don't want that biscuit. I had my biscuit, thank you. It seems like there is a little bit of clashing and communication between the community that seems to want this potentially awesome Skyrim mod and the people making it. Now, they do have a Patreon that had been bringing in like $18,000. So you would think that in some ways the developers would feel like they're beholden to people somewhat, but their language apparently has been the complete opposite, really. It seems like they might just be fed up with how things are going, how people are responding to the updates and stuff, because they said that they don't owe the community anything, which from a PR standpoint, yikes, dude. The developers have stated that they have considered giving up on the project just because of how players have been responding to it, and I think that sucks. That seems like not a very good situation. One of the quotes, "People leaving is the least of our concern as they will come back when it's released. We aren't trying to build a community. Please let us be and do the things the way we want." This seems messy. If I was involved in this, I would back out now, but I'm very curious to see where this goes. But most notably, I bring it up for some of you guys out there who are really into it, more informed than me about the current situation. What do you think about this? Did you give them money? Did you contribute to their Patreon? Like, how do you feel about this? And in case you missed it, interestingly enough, Psyonix, the creators of Rocket League, have been acquired by Epic. The way it seems like it's gonna go is that Rocket League will be on Epic Game Store late 2019. It will remain on Steam. They will continue to sell it on Steam and eventually take it off, but they did go out of their way to say that it will still be supported on Steam. So I guess that's good. Let's move on to some stuff linked in the description below. Just some things that we've come across this week. The first is that Sean Bean is returning to Hitman 2 as an elusive target again. I still really like Hitman 2, and I appreciate that you can kill Sean Bean, or as I call him, Scene Bean. But also linked in the description below, something I would very much like to share, is a mod for Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. We've had stuff like Thomas the Tank Engine in the past that has been legendary, but now we have Shrek as the chained ogre in the game. For those of you that have played, he may have been the point where you stop, because he sucks. But he also kind of beats you into submission and forces you to learn the rest of the game. But now the chained ogre is Shrek. Sometimes the internet does make good things, and I'm happy to share them. It's linked in the description below. That's kind of awesome. Also, there was a big, huge Borderlands 3 reveal this week. A bunch of streamers and YouTube people got to play it. There's a lot of gameplay footage out there. There was a live stream. We're going to link that in the description below. We're also working on our own Borderlands 3 videos here. But what we also linked, and what I really love, is this new Bloodstained trailer, which essentially highlights all the comments that people made. People had issues with the game's visual style during the beta, I guess, whatever it was, and now they've revealed the game with like a new kick-ass visual style, and it's awesome. And I'm really excited to finally get my hands on this. Now, of course, I feel like it wouldn't be an episode again like recently. We've been talking about Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead 3. Still not a thing. Sorry. But we did get this wild fan-made trailer that was pretty mysterious at first. A lot of people thought it was legit. Valve did come out and confirm that it is not, but it's really damn cool. It ends on a really awesome note. Still, I definitely think it's worth a watch. It definitely set the internet aflame earlier in the week, but things have calmed down. Now we're all just talking about Sonic the Hedgehog. We could talk about Sonic all day, but before we go, we should do the console giveaway we do every single week. You know how this goes down by now. There's a link in the description below. You click it to sign up. You enter once, then you're entered for good. And then every single week, we go in and randomly choose one person to win a free console of their choice. So this week's winner is going to be this person right here. Congratulations. Be sure to keep an eye on your inbox, your spam box, stuff like that, because we're going to be reaching out to you to find out how to send you your free stuff. So before we go, let's talk about our sponsorship with Squarespace for a minute. We've talked about this before, but say you want to get into gaming. Maybe you want to make games. Maybe you want to edit videos for a site like ours. I give this advice a lot, but you're going to need a place to really host your body of work, to show people the stuff you make. And Squarespace is a good place to start for that. It's extremely easy to use thanks to a good variety of templates and ways to modify everything to your liking. It's good for me because my web design skills are limited to nothing. I can't design websites very good. So if you're like me, you get all of this and solid customer support where you can chat with a real person, which definitely helps. So, are you interested? Head to squarespace.com to start your free trial, and then once you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/gameranx to save 10% off your first website or domain. And again, really huge thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. But now we gotta talk about all the stuff going on this week. Sonic the Hedgehog, of course. What are your thoughts? I put a lot of faith in Jim Carrey, but the rest of it, I don't know. Hey, I like Mr. Popper's penguins, he said to no one. The Mad Box, were you banking on that? Did you think that was going to be the end-all, be-all? Also, if you had a choice, if you could just go out and get any VR headset you wanted, which one would you get? Would you get the new Rift S? Would you get the crazy Valve Index? I want to talk about VR with you guys. Really, let's talk about anything gaming that's been going on this week. Any other stories we missed. We'll be down in the comments as much as possible, but of course, as always, if you guys got anything else for me at all, you want to yell at me, hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Jake Baldino. Of course, we're live every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. We didn't do last week, but we will be back. We would love to see you guys over there. Thank you for coming around and watching us every week. We really appreciate that, whether it be the Friday show, Before He Buys, Falcons videos. Thank you. But if you can click that like button, that really helps us out. Subscribing if you're new is a good idea because we put out stuff every single day. But as always, I'm Jake Baldino. I'll see you guys next time. Pizza's on me.